Congresswoman Liz Cheney of the Armed Services Committee has patriotically agreed to serve on the committee.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has named Republican Representative Liz Cheney to serve on the January 6th Select Committee. This is clearly different from what the Democrats wanted in the form of a January 6th commission. Since Republicans blocked that effort in the Senate, the House, under the leadership of Nancy Pelosi, moved forward with a select committee to investigate what transpired that day. Now, the whole reason why Liz Cheney is included in this group is controversial, but there was a strategic reason for why Pelosi wanted to include her. For Pelosi, as the Hill reports, it represents a strategic choice, ensuring that Congress's special investigation into the attack will be bipartisan, regardless of whether Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy fills out the committee roster with Republican members, and he does get to choose 5 members for that committee. It's really unknown whether or not he's going to play along with this, but the bipartisan point there is a relevant one. And during the same press conference, Nancy Pelosi did really lean into that message. Let's watch.
So glad that Benny Thompson will be leading it for us, and so glad that it will be bipartisan from the start. We're proud that Liz Cheney has made the public statements that she has made, and that she has agreed to join the committee. Another time she will say her why and her purpose, but she has spoken very clearly about the committee, and that gives us great confidence that we'll be able to work in a nonpartisan way for the people.
Now, while I have many issues with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, the one area that I do enjoy in her leadership is when she trolls the Republicans. And in this case, she did succeed in getting under House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy's skin. In fact, McCarthy was much less enthusiastic, saying moments later that he was shocked that Cheney would accept the post. He also indicated that Cheney would or could lose her other House committee assignments granted by the GOP conference in retaliation for accepting Pelosi's invitation to serve on the select panel. And just to give you his quote, he said, "I don't know in history where someone would go get their committee assignments from the speaker and expect to have them from the conference as well. It would seem to me, since I didn't hear from her, maybe she's closer to Pelosi than us. I don't know. I don't know." And Adam Kinzinger, who is the only other Republican in the House who voted in favor of the 9/11 commission, also responded to Kevin McCarthy's threats there by saying, "Who gives a crap?" But he didn't use the word crap. He used a different expletive.
Yeah. Okay, I actually want to talk about Kinzinger first, because that's really important. So if you're hearing about these committee assignments and you don't normally follow politics, you're like, well, what's the big deal about committee assignments? Well, there's some importance to it. You can introduce bills about the committees you're on. So if you're on an education committee, you can introduce bills about education, theoretically. But in reality, usually the chairs of those committees rule with an iron fist. And if you don't agree to their corruption, et cetera, they're not going to introduce your bills anyway. So among Democrats, they're like, "Oh, the committees are so important. Oh, you got to get the committee assignments. Heal," right? And so they tell everybody, "Oh my God, you better listen to everything that leadership says, otherwise you won't get the committee assignments." But Kinzinger is right. Who cares? Who cares about the committee assignments?
Are
you guys really passing bills? Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Like, if you're going to get a committee that is related to healthcare and you're going to introduce Medicare for all, okay, then it matters, right? Oh, we're not even voting on Medicare for all in the foreseeable future, right? Okay, do something that's more realistic. All right, $15 minimum wage, that's very realistic, right? And so, okay, get on a committee to introduce that. Well, are we going to vote on it? No, leadership says no. Then what the hell's the point of the committees? Nothing, it's useless, totally, utterly useless. It's just used to control progressives in Congress, and they should wake up to that fact. But the Republicans understand it way better. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she lost her committee assignments. She's like, so what? She raised $3 million that quarter. She now is in line for one of the top people being considered to run for president on the Republican side, because she raises more money than anyone else. Committee assignments. Who cares, right? So, but God, they get progressives so sold on that total horse crap, right? So now onto this particular thing. Look, all of this is stupid, to be honest. The Democrats get to put 8 people on this committee, and the Republicans get to put 5 people on the committee. So Pelosi's like, okay, I'm gonna make one of my 8 positions a Republican. I'm gonna put Liz Cheney on there. So there's gonna be 7 Democrats and 6 Republicans. By the way, slightly dangerous game to play, right? But I agree with her that in this rare case, because the media is obsessed with it, the bipartisan optics of this committee, I guess, is slightly important, right? But it's gonna be bipartisan anyway, because you're gonna have 5 Republicans on it. Now, the 5 Republicans are probably gonna be a clown show. So they all voted no except for Kinzinger and Cheney. But now Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene is like, oh, I wanted the committee. Well, then why'd you vote no? Oh, I don't care. I just want to. No, I just want to create chaos.
It's already chaotic. I mean, you're right. You're reading the tea leaves correctly, and I don't mean to, and I've never minimized what happened in the Capitol on that day, January 6th. However, I just really fail to see what the purpose of this committee really is gonna be, right? Because the feds are already investigating and have already charged literally hundreds of those insurrectionists. It doesn't seem like there's any attention being paid to the fact that there are white supremacists and white nationalists, not only within the police force, but also within our military, some of whom were active duty and attended that riot. So are they gonna do anything about that? It doesn't seem like it. And so I feel like everything that the Democratic Party tries to do politically tends to fail and embarrass them. Yeah. And they need to really think this through before they move forward. The only thing that I see Pelosi kind of doing right is trolling, McCarthy, which I enjoy, but outside of me enjoying it, there's really nothing else that's gonna come of it.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, Anna. There's an excellent chance that the 5 Republicans in there are gonna make a laughingstock out of this committee, and it's gonna be totally pointless, okay? And it's a lot of politics. There's only one thing I care about, and I'll give Pelosi credit for one other thing. She keeps putting Jamie Raskin on things, and I'm afraid of saying it because I don't want to talk her out of it.
No, but we don't like Jamie Raskin.
Oh yeah.
Please don't put Jamie Raskin on other things.
Okay, don't do that. He is not one of the smartest members of Congress.
No, very bad, very bad.
Okay, no, seriously, and the question that needs to be asked, the only question I care about, I don't care about them spending billions more in security and building a fortress around Capitol. I don't want that.
We don't want that, no.
Yeah, I want them to have good security, but I don't want a fortress. But the question I care about is who ordered the National Guard in? Okay, because if Trump didn't order the National Guard in, and he was asked to order the National Guard in, and the defense officials and security officials said to him, Mr. President, the lives of your vice president and members of Congress are in danger. Will you please order the National Guard in? And he said no, that would be relevant. Okay, and if the vice president had to give that order, which it looks like he did based on reporting, well, that's also relevant because apparently the government decided that the president was mentally incompetent to lead, and they had to go to the vice president for actual orders. And by the way, today, Donald Trump implied the vice president's security detail might have killed Ashley Babbitt. She was one of the people who participated in the riot and got shot by the police, by the security. So he's implying that Pence's team did it, thereby putting Pence himself in literal mortal danger. They were looking to hang Mike Pence as they went in. He's now baselessly claiming it might have been Pence's team that killed one of the Trump supporters that broke into the Capitol. And now all those people who had brought the nooses and wanted to murder Mike Pence are gonna think, oh yeah, it was Pence. And he killed one of ours, we gotta strike back.
She was climbing through a broken window of a door to get into the area that members of Congress were running away from.
If they had broken through that last security, they would have gotten to the members of Congress as they were chanting about hanging people, okay? And meanwhile, if a black guy so much as looks in the wrong direction, cops will shoot and kill him, and the right wing will be like, oh, of course he had to, come on. I mean, his cell phone could have been a thing, or I mean, it could have.
They justify black people running away from the cops and getting shot in the back.
Yeah, but wait, there's people saying they're gonna murder Congress people and they broke into the final barrier. They're like, oh no, that's terrible. I can't believe the cops would overstep like that. And let's go hang Mike Pence.
Insane.
So I'm serious, they should double Mike Pence's security detail. This is insane that the person whose life is in gravest danger because of Trump's fascism is his former vice president. Total insanity.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.